Welcome to Lighthouse Educational Consultants, Finding the Ideal Preschool. Please take a chance to click on the email list below. We send out a lot of emails with different programs we come across and free articles and stuff. And we just the other day sent out to a group of our people this video set of visual learning and how can you help your child who's a visual learner. You can't get it until you join the email list. Once you join the email list, you'll see a lot of stuff. And sometimes we send out coupons to our products. So finding the ideal preschool. Finding the ideal preschool is pretty easy because they should have a focus on academics. There should be learning based. Should have an indoor and outdoor play area. And the way I always thought of this, because first time I was asked about it, somebody said, well, why would they need an indoor play area? Well, bad weather. So they need both. They need to be, and my wife, if she was here, she'd say, well, kids just need to rip and run, and that's very true. And you can't say, oh, you can't run today because of that. Well, the weather shouldn't matter. They should be able to run whenever. Great if it's associated with a K-12 school or a college. And in my area, there's a university, and the wait list to get on this program is long because they know the kids work, the students that are working with these kids are well ahead of everybody else. And it's difficult to get in the program. Now, if you work for the university, you can be bumped up the list, but there's a lot of people waiting there because they have so much success. Ask friends and family members about different preschools. Because a lot of times, and when my son was born, we decided that he was going into preschool, we had no idea what was available. We had to go ask around and see what do these people do with their children. And some places are private. Some are with religious affiliation, and that's just going to depend on you and your family. Some will be very strict, some will be lax, and all that you need to kind of talk about what do you find acceptable or not acceptable. One of the things that we found was there were numerous ones that would just do the basics. And there was one that was really academic focused. And in every discussion we ever had with this place, they were like, look, we believe children can do a lot, and we believe we can push them into that direction that a lot of these other places just aren't doing. So you need to go find out what they're doing. Research the options in your area. And honestly, you're going to have to call. You are going to have to go into those facilities and look around. States are going to have records on the facility. Is this a good place or a bad place? Do they have a lot of reports? Check into everyone into your area. Visit and interview the preschool. Ask about the discipline policy. And there's, it might be the color change system, which my area is always apples, but other places have different things that go with. Some do names on the board, some do checks. One of the things with one that we went to, the first thing they said is, we never punish by restricting food. And I thought about that. Kids, sometimes food is a reward, and they look at it that way. And so it was good information to know. Ask about the policy where the child is injured. And what we're talking about is, one of the things that we've dealt with twice is a child got hurt, not mine, but a friend in his class, at the local park. They weren't even at their school. They went to the park. The kid got hurt. How do they deal with that child? They take him to the hospital. They call you. Is it just a cut and a bump and a bruise? Because that's things that are going to start freaking you out. You get a phone call because you want all the information. You got to have a policy. Do you have to bring food in or donations? The one we went to, they asked for donations. And a lot of times it was snacks or drinks, but is that a part of your preschool? Look at the ratio between teacher and student, and also find out when do they add a second person into the room or do they divide the class, because that's information you'll want to know. Check the references of the school. And that's very important. Find out who these people are. These are the people you're trusting your child with. That's some pretty important stuff to trust your child. If you're just throwing them into the next random place because it's close to your house or because they stay open an hour later, that's not good if they're harming your child. So make sure you're sending your child to the right place. And sometimes you're just going to have to join the waiting list and get on there and just wait till your time comes. And I know with the one with the university, the people who get on the waiting list, as soon as the opening happens, wherever they're at, they pay whatever exit fees they have to. They immediately get their cat in. And here's the difference. And this happened with my son. He's in that place. They were reading at 4. They were doing all the phonics and stuff at 3. By the time he was preparing to go into kindergarten, he already had all the kindergarten math he had already completed. All the kindergarten reading he had completed. He knew all the sounds and all the letters. And that's because he was sitting at the place that pushed academics. Now, don't get me wrong. He ran, he ripped, he played, he had fun. But not so much fun that he wasn't learning. And to him, to read a book, to do math is fun too. So he sees that as fun as well. Not that he's learning. But again, and you watch our other videos, we'll tell you, if you can associate learning to fun, your kid will be extremely successful at school. So thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching this. Look for other Lighthouse products. We have a lot of different stuff. We have a bunch of videos on YouTube, but we have some good stuff at the website. Please click on the link below and sign up for our email list. By signing up, you're going to get 4 free webinars. One's on learning styles, one's on the brain game, one's on brain dump, and the last one's on support system. And good luck in reaching all your educational goals. Bye.